big, powerful animals can be just plain dangerous to study. I plan to create a protective suit to do hands-on research in the wild.
I have entered their realm.
My ultimate goal? To get close enough to big wild crocs to attach a device to record biological data and learn how crocs survive. To design the suit, I'll test out different safety techniques on a range of deadly beasts.
There's something over here.
Can I pull it off? More importantly, will my croc suit protect me?
This may just be too dangerous.
I'm Dr. Brady Barr. In my research as a herpetologist, I have to go up against some seriously dangerous animals.
No, don't get off, don't get off, don't get off.
Capture giant crocodiles. Dive with great white sharks. Get zapped by electric eels. And come face to fang with serpents. Plenty of my colleagues also get into trouble, getting munched by caimans, groped by squid, or flattened by chimps. If you want to do hands-on research with big, fearsome animals, you have no choice but to get up close.
Look what it did to my shoe.
With a crocodile, the only safe way to do that is to physically restrain it.
Got this jaw secured?
But that can be dangerous for the animal, sometimes even fatal. As they fight, they can literally exhaust themselves to death. It can be risky for the scientists, too. I'm looking for a safe way to get really close to crocodiles without having to capture them. Now that is no easy feat. Approaching a wild croc generally has one of two outcomes. If you're unlucky, the croc takes off. If you're really unlucky, the croc comes after you. My plan is to develop a crocodile suit. It has to do two things. It has to protect me, but also allow me to get close to crocodiles without scaring them off. If my plan works, I aim to place a scientific instrument on a wild croc, and I'll gain valuable information that could reveal how crocs survive extremely high temperatures. And I'll do it without harming the crocodile or myself. To design my croc suit, I'm going to try different techniques for getting close to a variety of forbidding critters. From howling wolves to bucking bulls and growling grizzlies, these closest encounters should give me the insights I need to come up with a safe and effective croc suit. To start out, I'm going to do an experiment. Just how close can you get to a dangerous wild animal without protection and without any kind of blind or disguise? I am headed for a closest encounter with a giant of land carnivores, the grizzly bear. With me is Steve Stringham, an expert on brown bear behavior. He believes getting within feet of grizzlies gives him a useful insight into how they respond to people. Will the bears let us get close? And how near will we want to get? I hope this encounter will shed light on how to design my croc suit. I've interacted with many of the biggest predators on the planet, but I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm in Alaska, and I'm getting ready to get an up-close and personal introduction to the largest land carnivore on the planet, the grizzly bear. We plan to set up at a spot where the bears will also go. So we head towards the river. Grizzlies follow the rivers, hunting the spawning salmon. Then, we discover we're definitely on a bear trail.
Look. Look right here. That's big. Is this a back foot?
This is a hind foot. It's shaped a lot like a human foot.
3 times the size of my hand.
So it's about a 12-inch track.
Man.
You look at the width of a track and multiply by 100. So it's about 7 inches wide, about 700, 800 pounds.
Well, look at this one. Now, is this a front?
See how much longer the claws are?
Yeah, yeah.
And the claws up front are as long as your fingers are longer.
Bears use their front claws to dig for roots, open shellfish, or spear fish. Like almost all wild animals, grizzlies are fearful of humans and will generally avoid them. So getting close demands a roundabout approach.
This bear that's closest to us. Now, will we walk straight towards that bear?
What we do is we more or less zigzag towards or go around, loop around, position ourselves and let the bear walk up towards us if it feels so inclined.
Okay, I'm following you.
Good.
Steve's approach is to let the bears come to him. I don't think this would work with crocs, but we're about to find out if it works with grizzlies.
So we're just going to set up here,
Right.
because you think it's a good fishing place, and the idea is to let a bear, hopefully a bear will arrive.
Right. They'll move up and downstream looking for salmon.
Well, we got
you see
four
this?
headed our way down here.
Right.
That's over 100 meters away.
Yeah.
They're headed this direction.
Okay, so we want to set up right here. So we kneel down here and we get low, because when a bear is calm, that's often what it does. And if
By
another
crouching, we're
bear
assuming a
is looking and
non-threatening
watches us and
posture.
We're knelt down like this. This tells the bear that we're not prepared to run right directly at it. Or if we're standing up, it doesn't know what we're going to do.
Then, as Steve predicted, a fishing bear heads down the river towards us.
Yeah, here he comes, here he comes. So he saw a fish. Oh, he got one.
Ooh,
He got one.
yeah, looks like a hen.
He chases down a salmon, but uh-oh, he's got company.
Yeah, the blonde's going in.
Yeah,
He's approaching.
Yeah, he just may beg for food, or he may go in and try to take a chunk.
Look, there he goes, there he goes.
If the blonde bear is looking for a free lunch, he is not gonna get it.
Oh, he's got it, bear fight. He's got it.
He's got him by the cheek, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has him by the cheek. Oh, he got a piece. He got a big piece. The blonde got a piece. It paid off. Now, what we just saw right there, is that real aggression? Or is
Oh,
that
it's
just-
real. It's real aggression, but it's not kill you aggression. They're not really exerting themselves fully. They were really going at it, but they weren't going full intensity. If that had been a person who was getting bitten, we would have torn them apart.
Attacks on people are extremely rare, but they're usually triggered when people invade a bear's territory. August 1994. Louis Van Grootel and a colleague are marking prime timber in a forest in British Columbia. They're in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, they hear a strange barking noise coming from the forest above them. It comes closer. Louis realizes it's the snorting of a brown bear. He tries to flee, but it's just too late. No one knows what provoked the grizzly, but it unleashes a brutal attack.
The thing that you don't forget are some of the sounds. You know, the scalp tearing, sound like a sort of a wet rag.
The bear tore off his scalp, broke his hand, and ripped his arm to the bone. It took 2.5 years and 16 surgeries to repair his injuries. It's a powerful reminder of what we're risking by trying to approach a grizzly without protection. I'm here to get ideas for the design of my Croc suit, but I already know I'll need something to protect me from the Crocs. Here in Alaska, it's just us and the bears. And this is the most dangerous situation yet.
That's a mother, and those are her 2 cubs.
Yeah,
So this bear, we need to give a little bit more distance to.
definitely about 2 to 3 times what you do with other bears.
It's incredible that she's walking so close to us.
We stayed calm with her. We stayed a distance away. We let her come to us. So that's why this has worked out. If we'd approached her, kept following her, it wouldn't have worked at all. And here we got a young male walking up towards us. unusually blonde for a male.
This is the closest we've been. The bear comes to within 15 feet of us.
We're looking at the world's largest land carnivore. Nothing between him and us.
We're able to get this close because of Steve's ability to read the bear's behavior. He can spot if a bear is uncomfortable with our presence, and he knows how to calm a bear and safely retreat.
That's definitely as close as I want to get to a grizzly without any kind of protection. And getting this close is great for behavioral studies. But for other types of research, you gotta have a little more protection.
Here it comes. You okay?
To get as close as I want to, my suit has to withstand a possible crocodile attack. Next on Dangerous Encounters, I investigate a suit built to withstand almost anything. I'm designing a protective suit so I can do hands-on research with wild crocodiles. To get ideas, I'm investigating techniques researchers have used to get close to another apex predator, the grizzly bear. Canadian inventor Troy Hurtubise wanted to design a suit strong enough to withstand a grizzly attack. His goal was to get close enough to test out deterrent sprays on live bears. From the early basic versions, Troy's goal was to make his suit grizzly-proof. Experiments to measure the power of a brown bear show they can lift a 600-pound boulder with one arm. He designed a series of tests to mimic a grizzly attack, a combination of power and teeth, similar to a croc attack. As the suit became tougher, so did the testing.
Look at that. Just shadowed you.
With the Ursus Mark VI, Troy felt he finally had grizzly-proof protection. It's constructed of chainmail, ballistic rubber, and steel. It withstood everything he could throw at it. Even some tests that aren't obviously related to bears. Troy designed the suit so he could get close enough to wild bears to study them. Just what I want to do with crocodiles. I'm hoping I can learn from his experience.
So what was your motivation behind building the protective suit?
To get in close to grizzlies and set up the cameras and that to record the first birth of a grizzly cub in hibernation. Never been done before.
Like me, Troy needed a protective suit so he could safely get close to wild animals.
I could go up in the Mark VI, right up to a crocodile, and it couldn't hurt me.
Nothing couldn't. Even a hippo.
Yeah.
The blunt trauma wouldn't hurt you in this, and surely the teeth wouldn't hurt you in this.
You know what else?
I'm curious to know what it's like inside the suit.
Can I actually try to slip into this upper part?
It would be a first. Nobody puts my baby on, but
Really?
let's see if we can slip you in the upper body.
Oh, that's heavy.
Troy's not gonna let me just try on the suit.
You shouldn't feel anything, buddy. What, are you kidding me?
It just scares me.
No, I know.
I don't even feel it. That's crazy. You're like you're knock me off my feet. It's loud, but it doesn't hurt me. And this is what I need. I need something that'll afford me this kind of protection. I need to get back to DC and get to the drawing board, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to sit down and actually put pen to paper and try to work this out.
Troy's suit was a remarkable invention. Sadly, it proved impractical for actual research. It's just too clumsy for Troy to get close to the bears.
Get out of that.
The suit weighs nearly 150 pounds. If he falls over, he can't even get up by himself. And it takes two people to get him out of it.
Man, that
claustrophobic. To get close to wild crocodiles, I'm going to need to adapt Troy's suit. One reason he couldn't approach bears is he didn't look anything like a bear. I want to fool the crocs into thinking that I am a crocodile. And that means outwitting their extremely acute senses. They have the sharpest hearing of any reptile. Waterproof slits behind their eyes protect their inner ears. But if I'm quiet, I think I can avoid spooking them. Crocs are unique among reptiles in having sensitive pressure receptors lining their jaws and bellies. But they use these to sense prey underwater. I'm planning to be on land. To hunt on land, crocs rely on vision, and their excellent eyesight is what I'm most worried about. How can I make myself look like a croc? I believe the critical element is a realistic head, and I've used one before. For an earlier scientific project, I needed to actually swim with Nile crocodiles. I designed a lifelike croc head as a disguise. The head was realistic enough to fool the crocs, and it'll be the foundation of my croc suit. But fooling the crocs is just half the battle. I also need some defense against those ferocious jaws. Crocs can slam their jaws shut with thousands of pounds of pressure. If they get hold of me, they could toss me around like a rag doll or use a spinning technique to rip me to pieces. If I'm gonna get close enough to a wild crocodile to touch it, I'm going to need some serious protection. Another close encounter from my past gives me an idea.
Man, that is huge, and I want to get in the cage. Yeah. Can I go?
Some kind of cage would shield me from the crocs, but a shark cage is way too big and heavy for my needs. I'm gonna test out a lighter version. So I'm headed to the American Midwest to see what I can learn from a close encounter with the king of the canines, the gray wolf. I'm in the state of Minnesota. The plan is for me to get inside this protective cage next to a deer carcass and literally get in amongst a feeding frenzy. If there was ever a close, dangerous encounter, it's going to be right here, right now, as soon as the sun goes down. Unlike wolves, the crocs I'm going after aren't pack hunters. But they do congregate into dense groups. And they're both apex predators within their ranges. I'm hoping to get some valuable clues for my croc suit by a closest encounter with these wolves. Up next, I'm going to find out what it's like to be in the middle of a horde of feeding carnivores. I'm building a croc suit around a protective cage so I can safely do close-up research on wild crocodiles. I've come to Minnesota to test the cage design on another carnivore, the gray wolf. Wolves are primarily nocturnal, so I wait for nightfall to squeeze into my metal cage. We'll use special night vision cameras to see just what the wolves do.
All right, I'm in position and I'm all alone. It's scary.
And to lure them in, there's a big old deer carcass right in front of me.
Man, I hear something out there. There's something over here. There's something over here. There's something close. There's something close.
I have no idea how these wolves are going to react. The alpha male, that's the leader of the pack. He will determine how the wolves behave. The others will follow his lead.
This is just horrifying because, I mean, they're just like apparitions. They're just, you can barely see them on the edge of my night vision camera. They just move in and out of my field of view, just kind of like ghosts.
Man, there's got to be 6 wolves out there in the darkness.
The longer I stay in the cage, they seem to be getting closer and closer. I'm not sure I like this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think the whole pack has arrived.
As it turns out, the problem's not the wolves getting too close. They're just not close enough.
We've got a pack of wolves out there, but you know, they won't come any closer. And that's the drawback of working out of a cage like this. We're stationary. You can't approach the animals.
I think a cage can work on the inside of my suit, but it needs to be much stronger, and I've got to be able to crawl right up to the crocodiles. I also need to figure out how big to make it. For crocodiles, size matters. Like most predators, they live in a rigid social hierarchy, and a croc's rank is largely determined by how big it is. Big crocs will aggressively defend their mates and their turf from smaller individuals. If my croc suit is too small and I approach a big crocodile, it could see me as a smaller challenger and attack. But if it's too big, I could scare off smaller crocs. I want to try to look like an average-sized adult croc, maybe 12 to 13 feet long. That means the cage inside my suit will be just big enough to protect my body. It'll leave my legs exposed, but if I get into danger, I can draw them up into the cage. If I made the cage any bigger, it would be too heavy and the croc would just look too big. I'm ready to start on the suit, and the engineers at National Geographic go to work. I head in to try it on for size.
Walter.
Hey,
Brady. Good to see you. Son of a gun. Is this for me?
This is mine?
This is it. This is our crocodile, our simulated crocodile, and we can build the rest of the crocodile on top of this.
Yeah.
And give you a good chance of getting in there and interacting with the animals.
Talk about being in the belly of the beast. Man,
Exactly.
literally, this is it, baby.
Precisely.
So I'm going to be inside of this. This is the body of the croc. There's going to be a lifelike skin on top of this. I think we're in good shape. I'll tell you what. Seems perfect. I mean, it has to be realistic. It has to look like an actual crocodile. Yet afford me not only protection, but the ability to move around. You can see there are holes in the bottom, so I can get up on my hands and knees and move around and reposition myself. This baby right here is gonna let me literally enter the world of the croc.
But it'll take more than just this aluminum cage to keep me safe when I go into the field, because I have more than crocs to worry about. In Africa, where there's crocodiles, there are usually hippos. I have to make sure my suit protects me, not just from crocs, but from hippos too. And these may be the deadliest large animal in Africa. I've heard incredible stories about hippo attacks. Southern Africa, 1996. Experienced river guide Paul Templer is leading a hippo safari on the Zambezi River. Paul knows to keep his guests far away from the hippos they float by.
I didn't want to scare them, so I didn't mention that hippos were responsible for killing more people than any other animal.
But out of sight, in the depths, lurks a big male. Perhaps it resents the canoes invading its territory. Suddenly, it attacks. Paul is tossed into the water, and the hippo wraps its huge jaws around his body.
He bit down so hard that I thought for sure he was going to chomp me in half.
Hippos are armed with 4 massive canines. They're like tusks. Paul is pinned between 2 of them.
The hippo went berserk. His huge tusks tearing into my torso as he drove me underwater.
The hippo bites him, shakes him, tries to drown him. Finally, perhaps believing him to be dead, the hippo lets Paul go. Paul has 38 bite marks. The hippo's tusk punctured his lung and his skull. His left arm is crushed. Amazingly, he recovers completely, except for his arm, which could not be saved. A hippo's tusk could easily get through the cage at the heart of my Croc suit, so I need some kind of protective armor over the cage. To find out how to design my Croc suit so it can withstand a hippo attack, I'm going to go up against another huge beast that also has sharp weaponry.
Stay back, stay right here.
Talk about being out of my element. I'm putting on body armor so you know it's gonna be good. I'm in the state of Georgia at Rodeo school, where I'm gonna learn from the best to get up close and personal with these giant, hooved, horned rodeo bulls. That's right, big cows with attitude. The Sankey Rodeo School trains rodeo clowns. That's the guys who protect bull riders after they fall off the bull. They use a specialized barrel to protect themselves, but they also have to know how to dodge the bulls. Bullfighter Chaz Fish is my tutor.
Our job when they come off is to shoot whatever gap we see in between the bull rider and the bull, and then distract the bull away from them. Think of it as a linebacker coming at you. You're going to want to lead him. You're going to want to set him up, and boom, hit the fake, and step right back to him.
Ready? So, yep. So the bull's coming. I give a fake and then turn. Oh. I don't like the looks of that.
Slow down.
Oh. I mean, it's just this thing. And my heart's just pounding.
It's time for the real deal. My close encounter with a rodeo bull.
And those things are not happy.
I'm gonna go mano-a-mano with a bull weighing up to a ton that can cover 10 feet in less than a second and that is seriously mad. I plan to sit out the first few rounds until I get the hang of it.
Good job, good job.
Turns out, this bull has other ideas. The bull butts me.
Watch out, Brady. He started coming towards me and I just ran. And, oh, it's just instinct, man. Bull's chasing me, man. I'm running and he caught me just like that.
What'd I tell you? You don't run in a straight line. You got to step around those horns through that shoulder. I mean, he wasn't coming that hard. If you would have stepped in front of him, he probably wouldn't even turned around.
He looked like he was coming hard to me. There you go.
This may be the craziest thing I've ever done.
I've gotten in the water and swam with great white sharks. I deal with crocs on a daily basis. I've handled most of the most dangerous snakes on the planet.
I have never been as scared as I am out here with these bulls. Good job, good job. Not only am I gonna have a close encounter with these rodeo bulls, I'm gonna wear this helmet cam so you can see what I'm gonna see up close and personal. Get to it. Go, 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 get in there. Get to the other side, hurry, man, get to it. All right, go, 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 get there, get there, get there, get in there, get in there, get in there, go, go, go. Man, I am beat. I've had my fill of close encounters with rodeo bulls. Now I want to try the barrel. Let's get that barrel out there. That's why I'm really here. I want to look at the barrel and see how it stands up to 1,500 pounds of angry beef.
Coming up, I go face to face with a very rank bull. At Rodeo Clown School in Georgia, I'm learning how to dodge 1,500-pound bulls. I'm hoping to get ideas on how to design my croc-proof suit so it'll withstand an attack from crocs or hippos. My real interest is one of the tools of the rodeo clown trade, the barrel. It's 150 pounds of heavy gauge steel. I'm wondering if I should incorporate something like this into my suit. Bullfighter Chaz Fish shows me how it's used.
You get down in here. I just do it.
Time to get full body armor.
I'm not even ready. It's all right. Hook your arm. Remember how I told you to hook your arm?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep your head poking out.
Chaz risks his neck to lead the bull right to me.
Hey, boy, hey. Hey, boy, hey, hey. Hey, boy, hey. Brace yourself, brace yourself. Brace, 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 brace. That's it. That's it right there. Woo!
That's like going over this thing gets protected. I've got some better ideas for my design though. I think it's time to get back, see the engineers at Geographic, and come up with my croc barrel. This has been a really valuable experience. I got some great ideas, but I do not want to do that again.
I'm going to incorporate something like the rodeo barrel into my suit to stave off an attack of the hippos and to protect me from the crocs. But it's got to be much lighter than the heavy gauge steel. There's only one thing I can think of that may do the job. Kevlar, the material used in bulletproof vests. A sheet of Kevlar over the cage would give me extra protection. But would it be strong enough?
Well, I got my hands on a sheet of Kevlar. Now, supposedly, this material will stop the bullet from one of the most powerful handguns on the planet, the .44 Magnum. And I'm here to put it to the test. What a shot. Look at that. That's incredible. There it is right there. It stopped it. And on the back side, I mean, there's really not even any dimpling on the back. Stopped a .44 Magnum. I got one more test in mind. And if it holds up, we're going to hit the field.
So Kevlar really can stop a bullet from a .44 Magnum. Now the real question is, can it stop a hippo tusk? I head back to National Geographic headquarters to find out. Engineer Walter Boggs has designed a test using a model hippo tusk and a hydraulic press. We'll use the press to see how much pressure the Kevlar can withstand from the tooth. If the Kevlar can take a really high pressure, it should protect me from the hippos.
Nice, I like the looks of this. So this is a casting of a hippo tooth, right?
Made from bronze.
And this is what you cast it from.
That's
I mean, look at that baby. That is a tooth right there. I'm not worried about the crocs. I'm worried about the hippos when they're sporting chompers like this. So the idea in this setup is to see if this tooth can puncture the Kevlar, because this really is going to be my only protection. Can I pull this down? Can we?
Yes. And we're reading force
right now. Oh, look at that. So how much force?
300, 350, 400.
400. Oh, look at that. 500 pounds. It's getting very difficult. 800 pounds, 1,000, half a ton.
And now we'll kick in the hydraulic.
Need a little hydraulic help. There it is, 1 ton. 1 ton of force. There's no way a hippo has a bite of 2,000 pounds. And the Kevlar is preventing it from puncturing. I mean, talk about a commercial for safety.
This ought to do it.
Man, I'm a believer. I am a believer. We get this natural looking croc skin over the frame with me inside. Guarantee we're gonna fool the crocs.
The Kevlar will provide a layer of armor over the protective cage. The components of the suit are all in place. Up front, a super realistic croc head that's already field tested. My closest encounter with bears convinced me that to get close to wild crocs, I need serious protection. After cowering inside steel fencing, surrounded by a pack of wolves, I decided to build my croc suit around a cage. On top of that, a Kevlar shell inspired by a rodeo barrel to protect me from hippos. But I can't crawl around inside a black shell. To fool the crocs, I need to make the whole thing look like a crocodile. To make the body as realistic as possible, I've had a lifelike skin made up out of canvas and rubber that snaps right onto the cage.
Man, it looks great.
I think so too.
It looks great.
It's as realistic as we can make.
I think it's gonna work. The Kevlar is underneath this, right?
That's correct. You are completely secure. Once you're inside the frame, virtually nothing can get at you.
Man, that is a tight fit. Oh yeah, my feet go down into the tail.
Yes.
I can move around. I mean, I'm not gonna set any speed records. So at least I do have the ability to move a little bit. All right, man, I give it thumbs up.
Excellent. No
The
question
disguise is ready.
We're either gonna be geniuses.
It's time to head into the field to western Tanzania and its Nile crocodiles. Will the croc suit allow me to get within arm's length of big wild crocs? More importantly, will it keep me safe?
The big day's finally arrived. The day in which I field test my protective croc suit. And I'm here in East Africa, where there are more crocodiles than you can shake a stick at. The success or failure of my protective croc suit will be determined by whether I can attach this small scientific instrument to the back of a wild crocodile. To do that, I'm gonna have to get very, very close.
This data logger is part of an experiment into how crocodiles deal with climate extremes. The animals here have to withstand a dry season with temperatures high enough to kill a crocodile.
The thermometer's been out probably 5 minutes. The thermometer goes up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It's off the chart. It's over 140 degrees Fahrenheit out here.
I believe the burrows play a critical role in the croc's survival. The temperature inside the burrow should be much cooler.
All right, let's see what we got. Over 140 degrees Fahrenheit in the sun. 20 feet into the burrow. Unbelievable. Honest, 29 degrees Celsius. 82 degrees.
That's a difference of 60 degrees. But to prove this is important for the crocs, I need to monitor the temperatures they experience. Ultimately, I want to attach data loggers to several crocodiles. On this expedition, my goal was just to field test the suit. If it works, then I'll know I can use it for future research.
Let's cover the shell with the lifelike skin and attach the head, and let's see if this crazy idea just might work. Making it look realistic. Spread a little hippo dung on top. That looks great, guys.
Before I go up against the crocs, I want to find out how hippos react to it. As the water recedes in the dry season, the hippos congregate into crowded mud bogs.
All right, I'm in position. I'm at a watering hole where there must be 300 hippo. More people are killed in Africa by hippos than any other animal. Not lions, not crocs.
I summon my courage and move forward. Then, the situation I've been dreading. A mother with a baby. She starts towards me.
My worst nightmare. I happen to be walking up on a mother hippo and her baby, exactly in the place where I was headed. This may just be too dangerous. My area of expertise is with crocodiles, not hippos. I feel like a fish out of water.
But then she turns away.
Where did the mother and the baby go? Over. How close are they to me?
Say about 60 feet and walking away.
Thanks, that makes me feel better.
That is enough of hippos. Up next, it's time for my closest encounter with wild crocs. We're gonna find out if my crocodile suit will let me safely get close enough to a wild croc to place a scientific device onto its back.
Now we got some movement. I'll try to head down this way. Or help me in here. Well, I'm now in the croc suit, and everybody's left me. I'm all alone. I got some large crocodiles up ahead. I got 5 or 6 elephants off in the distance. I'm gonna try to get a little closer.
I cautiously sneak up to the basking crocs.
Man, he's looking right at me.
I'm wondering what to do next when suddenly the croc gets up.
Man, my heart is just skipping beats. He turned, I thought he was gonna get me, and he just walked right on by.
Past you, it's about 30 feet behind you.
That's a long walk when you're in this croc suit. I see another crocodile about 15 feet ahead of me. I think I'm gonna go after that one.
The crocs don't seem to react to me at all. Until I turn around. One turns right towards me. I've got to back off. But I'm gonna have to move in if I want to try putting the data logger on.
Man, I'm really nervous. This crocodile's so big, I think he could just shoot inside of here with me if he wanted to. I'm afraid this big one might have a go at me. He's got his eye open. He's well aware that something out of the ordinary is going on.
He's making me too uneasy.
I think I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna look for another croc.
But just as I'm about to move, I hear something. A croc coming up from behind me. Now I'm sandwiched between 2 giant crocs.
Hello, hello. Hey. How close is the one behind me? Over.
Behind your right leg, next to your right leg.
So it's unsafe for me to get up and move, correct?
I would say so.
I'm nervous about this croc too, but he is in perfect position to deploy the scientific instrument.
I'm gonna attempt to attach it at the base of the tail, and hopefully this crocodile won't attack. He's looking at me.
Somehow I must have spooked him.
Oh, I got hissing. That means he is unhappy. I was attempting to place my data logger on the tail, and he did not like that. But I got another animal right up ahead. I'm gonna move a little forward. Try it again. It's like my thermometer says it's 120 degrees in here. I'm feeling really nauseous, really hot. I want to get this data logger on and call it a day.
The crocs know I'm here.
That crocodile's giving me some serious hissing.
But I've got to try. I carefully extend the tongs. The crocs are on the move. I'm relying on my croc suit to keep me safe. I inch the tongs back out. Then, bingo.
I successfully placed a scientific device on a wild crocodile. Wouldn't hurt the croc, didn't hurt me. I am part of the crocodile world. I have entered their realm. I've been accepted into their ranks. Today, I am a crocodile.
The suit is a success. I've proved I can use my disguise to study crocodiles at close quarters. In the future, it could be a critical new tool for croc research, allowing scientists to gather valuable data without danger, either to the scientist or to the crocodiles.